Occasionally, it is difficult to discern whether one's fortune is favorable or adverse. It was a Saturday morning when I reversed out of my driveway, intending to go to Home Depot to acquire parts for repairing the bathroom tub. It was then that I noticed I had a flat tire, having traveled only a short distance. Consequently, I returned home to retrieve my hydraulic jack. Upon entering the kitchen, I overheard Dora conversing with someone. "Don't worry, he won't be a problem." The sound of my keys hitting the counter alerted her to my presence. In hushed tones, she said, "Gotta go." When I entered the kitchen, she greeted me with, "Hey hun, that was quick." "Flat tire," I replied. "Oh, that's unfortunate. Do you need assistance?" she inquired. "Nope, I've got it," I responded. This interaction prompted me to reflect on recent events and consider any potential warning signs. While changing the tire, I replayed Dora's recent behaviors and statements in my mind. The first anomaly I recalled occurred the previous evening. Upon arriving home, Dora mentioned that the bathroom tub was nearly clogged again. While it had been worsening, the timing of her comment, at 6 p.m, seemed peculiar. Given that we reside in an older house and utilize the tub as a shower, this suggested that she had showered before my arrival. One does not need to delve deeply into common narratives to grasp the implications of such a scenario. After completing the tire change, I proceeded upstairs to wash my hands. In doing so, I inspected the laundry basket and discovered both a wet bath towel from the previous night and a pair of panties, still damp from having been hand-washed. My name is Matt. I've been married to Dora for 4 years. We knew each other in high school but never dated back then. After college, we reconnected, and everything just seemed to fall into place. Our bed life was healthy before marriage and hasn't slowed down much since. If I'm honest, the first warning sign was when our friends, Jim and Diane, got divorced. I fully supported Jim for all the crap Diane put him through. Dora couldn't understand how someone as mild-mannered as I could condone such harsh treatment of a cheating wife. She would say things like, maybe it was just intimacy, and that it didn't warrant such severe consequences. Think about it this way, Dora. Fidelity is like pregnancy. You either are or you aren't. There's no gray area. Fidelity is either 100% or 0. In retrospect, Dora's reaction to that conversation now speaks volumes. We recently bought an old fixer-upper. Unless we make some major changes, it won't appeal to anyone except another fixer-upper enthusiast. I'm pretty handy with tools, but finding the time is the biggest challenge. My heart wasn't in fixing the bathroom. I needed to clear my head. I went outside to work in the yard. I was fuming but didn't know what to do to get more information. Dora was tending to her rose bushes. I had just started trimming the trees when I heard a scream. Dora was stumbling, trying to stand up and yelling, "Snake!" I smiled, knowing that Dora was terrified of snakes. I find them amusing, like living ropes with eyes and a forked tongue. I strolled over and saw a pencil-thin garter snake, about a foot long. "Kill it! Kill it!" I lied. "I don't see it." "Are you sure?" "Yes, damn it. It was huge. Keep looking." Dora was standing in the doorway. I picked up a foot-long twig and tossed it toward her. "Is this it?" All I heard was the sound of the door slamming shut. She had locked the doors, and I had to apologize profusely for throwing the snake at her before she let me back inside. I need to lie down. I hate snakes. Not funny. Throwing it at me. Once Dora was upstairs, I opened her cell phone and jotted down the phone numbers she'd been calling. I also checked her Google Maps history to see where she had requested directions. Yesterday at 2:30 p.m. it was the Parakeet Lounge. Piecing things together wasn't too difficult. Too many calls to Jacob Sather, her co-worker, to be a coincidence. There aren't many people with that last name in our city. I'm guessing he's the one who lives about 4 miles away. I decided to go for a drive. The Parakeet Lounge is connected to the America Sleeps Motel. 1 task down, 1 to go. I parked a few houses away from Jacob's place and observed. A couple of kids were playing in the front yard, and a lovely lady occasionally came out to interact with them. I assumed the man who exited the house was Jacob. He drove off. I knocked on the front door. "Yes, may I help you?" "Yes, ma'am. I'm updating the census information. Are you Mrs. Sather?" "Yes, I am." I wrote on my notepad. "Sorry, I don't have your first name. You have 2 children? Ages?" "My name is Julie. My children are 5 and 7. I jotted down more notes. "And you are still married to Jacob?" "Yes." Julie confirmed that Jacob was a manager where Dora worked. "Thanks, that's all I need. Have a great day." Julie, like me, is probably completely unaware of what her idiot husband and my unfaithful wife are doing. By this time next week, things will be very different. I rejected Dora's attempts to engage in intimacy on various pretexts, and she seemed indifferent to my lack of interest. I was careful to stick to my normal routine as best I could. I used a burner phone to set my plan in motion. I wanted to be absolutely sure that what I suspected was actually happening. It would be incredibly embarrassing to take decisive action based on a wrong assumption. So I took a day off on Friday and followed Dora to her workplace. At about 2:30 p.m., Dora left the parking lot. I followed her at some distance, almost sure that a parrot was waiting for me in my future. Dora parked at the parrot bar and headed for the motel stairs. I stood so that I could see the stairs. Dora met Jacob, and they headed to the second floor. After Jacob opened the room for them, I saw enough. I called my friend Alex and said I was on my way to see him. When Dora returned home, she was surprised to see that I was watching TV. I had no doubt that she had just been with someone else and wanted to take a shower. "Matt, what are you doing at home so early?" "I had some things to do, so I took the afternoon off. Did you leave work early too?" "I spilled a drink on myself, so I decided to go home and take a shower. I'll be down soon. Let's go out and have a steak." Her quick wit impressed me. I could hardly contain myself. I had removed the regular door handle from the bathroom door and replaced it with one that could only be opened from the bedroom side. The door opened into the bathroom, and we always closed it by pushing it shut. Now, once inside, Dora would be trapped. There was no bathroom window, only a fan. The door, like all the others in the house, was a heavy wooden slab. I tiptoed up the stairs and heard the bathroom door close. I pulled on it to ensure she was locked in. The hysterical screaming began a few seconds later. The pounding on the door wasn't as loud as the panicked screams. I turned on the radio near the bed and cranked up the volume to drown out the noise. You see, I had borrowed 2 very large yellow anaconda snakes from my herpetologist friend Alex. Each was about 8 feet long and as thick as my arm. They were too big to slide under a door. I had placed them in the tub and pulled the curtain closed. They aren't venomous, but when they get really hungry, they will attack. Alex feeds them well, so they are a few weeks away from being dangerous. "Matt, let me out, please, Matt. Let me out." "Maybe Jacob can help you. Do you know his phone number?" "Oh my God, I'm sorry, Matt. It was just intimacy. I love you. Please let me out." Even more desperate screams rang out. The snakes seemed to have gotten too close. I heard some kind of crackling. "Matt, damn it, open the door!" "Darling, it's just snakes. Be careful," I lied. Damn, damn, damn. And then another crash of sounds. I think she's throwing herself at snakes. "Honey, try not to fall asleep. At this time they eat and reproduce." I continued my fiction. Sobbing, "Matt, open the door. I'm sorry. Open the door." "Calm down, darling. You might want to turn off the lights." I added a few newly discovered facts. They become aggressive in bright light. I will contact you in a few hours. Over the next few hours, amid hysterical sobs, the sounds of falling objects could be heard. There was a loud bang. She must have fallen off the toilet or sink as her voice changed dramatically. "Matt, help me! Help me!" "Try not to scare them," I said, folding on the nonsense. Sleeping in the bedroom was too uncomfortable because of the noise, so I slept well on the couch. In the morning, after making a cup of coffee, I went up the stairs to see how things were going today. "How are you doing, honey?" There was only grumbling and whimpering in response. I probably didn't get enough sleep. "I'll come by for lunch." I spent the morning going through emails and new cars. Dora's friend picked her up. "Didn't she call you?" "I'm sorry about that. She didn't sleep last night and she's not feeling well. She's behaving very strangely. I'll tell her you stopped by." From time to time, I heard rumbling and screams. She must be hungry too. "Have you finished taking a shower yet? I'm going to have a delicious, juicy steak. Can I cook something for you?" A very faint, "Please open the door, please. I'm very sorry." "What do you want?" "Please open the door." "Watch them carefully. When they intertwine, it's a bad sign. You don't want to be around them if that happens," I said, coming up with new facts. "Open the door, damn it!" followed by another hysterical crying and screaming. The lawn needed mowing, and I felt a spring in my step while doing it. I watched TV all afternoon. After the golf coverage ended, I checked on our love fest. I knocked on the door. "How are you and your lovers doing, dear?" "Shit! They're on me! Get off! Get off! Help!" Maybe she had dozed off, and her lovers were snuggling up. "I'll give you and your lovers some privacy. I'll check back in the morning. Sweet dreams." "Matt, open the door, now!" Bossy little thing. I think I'll leave her in time out. The crying and screaming continued sporadically throughout the night. I slept on the sofa again. With my morning coffee in hand, I climbed the stairs again. Not a sound. Maybe she managed to get some rest after all. I cracked the door open. Dora was passed out, wedged between the wall and the toilet. She had completely trashed the bathroom. I put the 2 snakes into the canvas bags Alex had provided. It took just a few minutes to put the regular door handle back on. I used my phone to create a video of Dora sleeping beside the toilet and the damage she had done. I called 911 and reported that my wife had gone insane. I put the canvas bags in my trunk. When the police arrived, I explained that Dora had locked herself in the bathroom and trashed it. I wasn't sure if she was on drugs, but she was ranting about snakes and behaving delusionally. She clearly needed psychiatric care, and I was ready to sign any necessary paperwork to get her the help she needed. When they tried to move Dora, she kicked, screamed, "Snakes, get off me!" and swung wildly at the officers. It took both of them to subdue her. They told me they were taking her to the hospital for observation. Before leaving, they photographed the bathroom, checked the door lock, and looked for snakes. On my way to the hospital, I stopped by Alex's place. The snakes were fine. I promised Alex a big steak dinner. I think I deserve at least a supporting actor Oscar for my performance at the hospital. I couldn't have garnered more sympathy from the nurses and doctors. They assured me that, although unusual, they see cases like this a few times a year. I peeked in and saw that they had Dora restrained in a straitjacket. The sedatives would keep her calm for now. The doctors persuaded me to consent to her being kept under observation for at least a week. This wouldn't reflect well on her record. After a week, Dora's report was unfavorable. She would react aggressively and scream whenever anyone or anything approached her. She persisted in accusing me of locking her in the bathroom with snakes as punishment for her supposed affair. An affair? She's having an affair. I feigned surprise as a shocked husband would. It's someone she works with, a guy named Jacob. I need to sit down. I'm feeling unwell. Could her guilt be triggering these outbursts? The human brain is incredibly complex. It's hard to pinpoint the exact cause. They handed me a glass of water. Since there were no snakes, what's going to happen to her now? We've completed the necessary paperwork to extend her stay for another 2 weeks. I reached out to my lawyer and initiated the divorce proceedings. Additionally, he contacted Dora and Jacob's employer to negotiate a settlement. Jacob holds a managerial position, while Dora does not, and they are not supposed to have intimate relations. As long as Dora is undergoing treatment for her breakdown, She cannot be served with legal documents. However, this is not an issue, as the documents will be waiting for her upon her release. She will need to find alternative employment. I've heard that Julie is also pursuing legal action against Jacob's former employer. Jacob was admitted to the same hospital for a brief period. He was bitten by a venomous snake he discovered in his car, resulting in the amputation of several fingers. I purchased a poster and displayed it in my office. A snake may shed its skin, but it's still a snake. Remember that before you allow certain individuals back into your life. I hope I met Dora's expectations regarding not causing any trouble.